Hello and welcome to Editor's Take. I'm your host, Ramona Singh, and joining me in studio is Jadoo Jaswal. He is the group editor of Y Media, and today we're going to talk about Roe versus Wade. On June 24th, 2022, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned Roe versus Wade, which has been in position since 1973, 50 years in place that gave women the constitutional right to seek an abortion in the United States, regardless of where they live. Hello and welcome, Jadoo Jaswal. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, but it's very shocking, this decision that the Supreme Court has made in terms of the justice. It was 6-3 to uphold a Mississippi law. Essentially, this Mississippi law was based on Dobbs versus Jackson's Women Health and organization, which was to make in a case where you would ban abortions after the 15-week mark. Essentially, they voted, and 6-3. Now, Roe versus Wade has been reversed. This is something that we expected about a few months ago when it was leaked documents that this is a case that they were looking at. It prompted protests all throughout the United States. And of course, it was a main question here in Canada as well. And now that it's actually happened, June 24th, 2022, it's a historic day. It's now there's protests in many cities throughout the United States, and it continues as now it's set women backwards. It's unimaginable after 50 years law. I'm going to read you a quote from the Justice Alito. He essentially put a quote out in terms of what it means for Roe versus Wade, and this is very significant because essentially he's saying that it's not a constitutional right for people to have abortion in the United States, and this is something that he's saying we got to leave up to the states, individual states, to make that decision. And here is I'm going to read the quote. He says, "We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. The Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision, including one of which the defender of Roe and Casey now chiefly lay, the Due Process Clause of 14th Amendment." Essentially saying that now you will have to go to your own state for that. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representative, which this means that in 26 states, abortion could be banned. And there's certain things as trigger states, and I'll go into those details. I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, first of all, I must say this was very much on the anticipated lines. Because as you rightly just mentioned, the draft was leaked, and we already knew this was coming. And my heart goes out to all those women who've been, really working hard for seeking all these rights. And this is not just about women rights. This is about human rights. And the other thing is that this has opened the floodgates, as you were just mentioning. For many states, they're going to not only ban abortion, but anybody who's seeking to get abortion, or anybody who's conducting those medical procedures on this one. And this has not been a topic of discussion just in states. Of course, it's a hotly debated thing in states, but right across the globe as well. I've seen, British, German, and so many other European media discussing this. There's a lot of discussion in China, India, Russia, and so many other parts as well. But I also want to draw your attention to this issue as an abortion. In many countries, abortion is only permitted when there is a case of emergency or the life is at risk, including Ireland for that matter. I've seen there are other countries like UAE and so many other countries, but even in Ireland, till date, it is like that. And that certainly begs a question as I was looking at those placards when I'm handling, my mom had more rights than me, or where are we heading? And I'm not surprised that US hasn't elected a female president till date. I mean, as much as we had Chandrika Kumartunga in Sri Lanka, we had Benazir Bhutto in Pakistan, and then we had Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh, and of course, Srimati Indira Gandhi in India. But US hasn't elected a female president. And here we are. I think this is I look upon states as a very, very progressive country. For me, the Western world is very progressive. But here we are, a very regressive step by a very progressive country.